definitely believe that as we practice patience and flexibility in our bodies, we get to practice patience and flexibility in our own lives, our decisions, our minds, our thoughts. I think those are pretty valuable traits to have. And yeah, it's about that practice. It's not about how flexible you are or anything like that. It's just about learning to lean into discomfort and, well, not be comfortable there, but kind of surrender to it or accept it. Hey, a cool sword. Good morning, Ben. Ghost Floof. Oh, hugs. Hello. Man, do you not have a sub button yet? No, I haven't accepted my affiliate status on Twitch yet. I'm still just accepting tips through I'm still only accepting tips through PayPal and Venmo. I don't know. I feel like I feel like weird getting a sub button on Twitch because it's like I have like such a small specific group of people. So I don't know. But Ghost Loof, good news. I have crystal singing bowls. They're not metal. What's it called? So today Shavasana will be kind of an experiment with you. You can let me know how this sound feels versus the bowls that I played with before. So I'm really excited that you're here, and I can't wait to hear if these are better for your tinnitus. And by better, I mean don't affect it at all. I don't have an account on either of those. I know it's June. It is the half full. We're at like what? This is class number 105. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still like me on this whole sub button on Twitch. Probably should. Oh, love you too. The sound will be more. Yes, hopefully. That is my intention. Oh, look at the time. Okay, so as always, you guys know if there's anything in particular that you want to work on, just drop it in the chat, and I'll do my best to accommodate and include that. Oh, hey, literally perfect timing. Hey, a cool sword. Can we do some shoulder work today? Mine have been super stiff lately. You've got it. I'm still a teensy bit upset though, because I said it's not necessary to get those. You went ahead and got them anyways. Nope, don't be upset, Ghost Floof. It was totally meant to be. I was walking home from the grocery store, not kidding, and I bumped into a friend that I used to hang out with all the time, pre-COVID, and she was there with her baby, and we were just catching up, and she was like, what are you up to? And I was like, oh, you know, just manifesting a crystal bowl set. And she was like, no way, I'm going on this road trip for a couple months, and I would love you to take them so that they can be played instead of just put into storage. And I was like, are you serious? And she was like, yeah, you'd be doing me a favor because I feel bad just having them in boxes. So this whole set was like $2,000. I didn't buy them, they're actually being lent to me by a really great friend, Alessandra, who's like one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Not just because she lent me all of her crystal singing bowls, no, because that's just who she is in life. She's like a really creative, amazing person. But yeah, so it's pretty much awesome. Good morning, Lar4444. Shoulders, awesome. So we're all in a shoulders mood. 2K dang. Yeah, I don't know how much you paid for them, but I get advertised these things on Instagram all the time, and that's how much they are. So yeah, I'm like super blessed and super grateful to have been lent these. But yeah, they're being lent to me. Sounds like you have amazing friends out there. Happy for you. Thanks. Yes, I'm blessed. I have the best friends, for sure. I definitely have the best people in my life. Very grateful for that. So, let's begin. Let's grab a comfortable seat. I'm sitting up on a blanket, and then I just let my knees and feet come off the front. Seated up nice and tall, whether you're on a chair or on the ground. Heart comes over hips, head over heart. Hands come to rest on the lap, either palms down to ground down or palms up to give and receive energy if you feel you've got a little extra to give today. Eyes can close if that's comfortable for you. If not, just lowering your eyes to a soft gaze ahead of you, not looking at anything in particular, is just fine. We'll begin with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, and an audible sigh out the mouth, shoulders drop away. Let the breath continue in and out through the nose, returning to a natural breath's pace. And we'll take a moment here just to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And become present to yourself here in this space, here in this moment. Begin to allow sounds into your awareness. Just allowing the sounds to come to you, perhaps passing traffic or singing birds outside your window. And perhaps the running of your refrigerator, the humming of some lights within your home. Allowing all sounds in all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. Weight of your hands on your knees. And just get a general sense of how the body feels. And we'll begin to scan the body from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity, any restlessness or fidgeting. And taking note to work into those spaces that call out for your attention throughout your movement practice here today. And we'll shift that awareness from the body Annamaya Kosha, to the energetic level, Pranamaya Kosha. Just notice where you are energetically on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl into bed. 10 being so full of energy, it's hard to sit still. We'll shift that awareness, that attention to the breath. No need to change it, just observe. Inhalations, exhalations, and whatever space in between. Notice where the breath is located. Where do you feel that lift? Is it in your belly, chest, or shoulders? Moving the attention up to the mind now. Manomaya Kosha. For the next few moments, just allow the thoughts to be free. Thoughts or feelings that arise, we just observe them from a distance. Like clouds passing in the sky, no need to engage. Notice what are the quality of the thoughts today. Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. We'll bring that attention back down to the breath. And this time actively expanding the breath. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale lets something more go. Inhaling through the nose into the belly, belly expanding like a balloon inflating. And exhales, drop belly button in towards spine. So our breathing technique this month will be Dirga Pranayam, 3-part breath. So filling in of the belly, then the ribs, then the chest. Shoulders stay relaxed the whole time. Then we exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhaling through the nose fills belly. You can bring your hands even up to the ribs. Feel them expanding out to the sides, then to the chest as it lifts up. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. And following at your own breath space here, filling up from bottom to top. And exhaling top to bottom. Taking your time here. keeping the breath slow and deep. And then next time you exhale, no rush to get there. Returning to a natural breath's pace. And without any effort, just observe if this breath has changed from the first time you observed it. And bring our hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. No space between the fingers and the thumbs pressed into the sternum. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice here today. Your reason for showing up to the mat. The invitation is set in the positive and affirmative tense. So it might sound something like, I am patient, or I am flexible. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. You're invited to chant along with me, of course. First, a cleansing breath. Allow your hands to release to your lap. Chin drops towards chest. And on an inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. And left ear rolls towards left shoulder. Good morning, M9 Easy. Welcome in. We're just starting to move. What's the friendliest color? Yellow. Just made that up. Well, I do know that yellow actually helps people be more attentive. So I guess they did a study where students took notes on a white notepad and the other students took notes on a yellow notepad, and those who had the yellow notepad ended up retaining more information. Next time the head rolls through center, bring it up to neutral and begin to roll the shoulders forward. So there's that, but if a room is painted yellow, that causes alertness, and then that might give you anxiety. So yellow is like a bad color for your bedroom, but a good color for the kitchen, I guess. Yellow as in hello. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, well, in roses, yellow is also the friendship color. I used to work at a garden center, so you give yellow roses the sign of friendship. Roll the shoulders back. But yeah, art school. Lots of random color theory things we learn. So we're just working into the shoulders that we're going to work into later, just waking them up, opening up that space between the shoulder blades, up by the collarbones, coming to stillness in the arms. Let's just work on the neck right away. Fingers come up to the top of the jawline, or like right where the jaw ends. Bring the fingers out just an inch or so, and we're just going to slide the head side to touch each fingertip. Mindful that we're not lifting and dropping the shoulders, they're not involved, just relaxed away. We're not turning the head either, no, we're sliding to get that jawbone corner to touch the the fingers. If this is too far away, just bring the fingers in closer. And all the while, we are breathing fully. Three, two, one. Back to stillness, or back to center. We're just going to drop the ears side to side. Look left, look right. We'll go into our neck rolls. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what they look like. You can keep facing forward. Everything from the shoulders down is relaxed. Just chin tucks in towards chest, reaching down with the nose, forward towards the wall in front, up towards the sky above, and back towards the wall behind. Then chin tucks back in towards chest, and we begin that motion again. Trying to make a big circle with the nose, getting to the farthest edges of your range of motion, and aiming to smooth out this movement. So it sounds like a lot of you guys are working with some shoulder pain and stiffness. Definitely familiar with that. It's definitely connected to the neck as well. So here we are just opening up some new patterns and movements in the neck. Just signaling the body to send lubrication, synovial fluid to all those little bones in the cervical spine. Let's change directions, lifting the chin up towards the sky, forward towards the wall in front, down towards the ground, and then the chin scoops back in. Last cycle like this. And we're back at center. Only Yoga Joka know I was gonna go, but namaste. What's it called? Classic namaste joke. Alright. Let's bring the head down, chin back down towards the chest. And roll the right ear over the right shoulder. Right hand lands on top of the head. We're not pulling. We're just letting the weight of the hand be enough. Left arm reaches away. And then slowly lower it down towards the ground. Maybe fingertips graze the ground. Really, I'm just trying to really open up the space between my ear and shoulder. And here you can give a little nod yes to find where the sweetest part of that stretch is on your neck. You'll notice just the slightest, most subtle movement can make all the difference. When you find that spot, just hold it there in full deep breathing. We'll gently release that hand from the head. Roll the head over to the other side, left ear over left shoulder. Left hand comes to land on top of the head. Nice and light, just the weight of the arm is enough here. Right arm reaches away. Slowly float it down. You'll begin to feel that neck on the trapezius muscle on the side of the neck as the fingertips come down to graze the ground. A little nod, yes. You find that sweet spot and stretch. We're just going to take 2 deep breaths here. And release the hands from the head. Rolls back through center, back up to neutral. Let's inhale. Arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, bend over to the right. Actually here, We'll take a deep breath in, really reaching. Maybe your elbow reaches the ground, or you can bend the elbow a bit. Exhale up through center. Inhale over to the left. So I'm really pressing into my ribs, lifting up through my ribs here in the side bend. And exhale, center. Really reaching through the top fingertips as well. Connecting breath to movement, exhaling to recenter, inhaling to reach. So we're stretching externally through the reach of the arms with a press down of the hip, and internally through the breath, pressing up against that rib cage. One more to each side like this. Okay, next time you drop over to the right, it doesn't matter if your elbow touches, you can also be here or here. We're just going to do big back strokes, just continuing to warm up these shoulders. And notice your hand has to turn to make this circle. So if you start with your palm facing you, just notice how far back you can go before it has to turn to complete the circle. There's no right answer or goal here. I just want you to notice, just observe. And next time it's up, we'll sweep it over to the other side. Once again, if your elbow touches down, great. If it doesn't, great. Elbow bent, beautiful. We're just getting a side bend here, a lateral stretch. And big back strokes. Any clicking or cracking in the shoulders, don't get hung up on it, we're just noticing. And then you might notice here, how far can you go with your palm facing your head before you need to turn the hand to complete the circle. So we're really here to learn things about ourselves, just explore movement. Thanks. Next time the arm sweeps up overhead, we'll bring it up to center. Deep breath in here. And exhale, we'll twist over to the right. Left hand lands on right knee, right hand lands on the ground behind you. Inhaling up through center. That's the stretch I needed. Awesome. Exhale to the left. Following the breath in to rise. And out to twist. So as we connect this breath to movement, there's no need to rush. We're slowing the breath down, or rather keeping the breath slow, keeping the movements smooth. For our last twist over to the left. Arms come up overhead and we'll bend, and the elbows, hands come to ear height. Let's just wave out the hands, warming up the wrists before we put any weight on them. Palms flip down towards the ground, fingers wiggle, waking up the hands, all the muscles, ligaments, tendons, all that connective tissue, that fascia. Kind of undoing all our small, fine motor skill movements, all our little repetitive things that we do with our hands. Palms flip up towards the sky. We're really reaching back here. It's like you're trying to get your fingernails to touch your forearm. And now we're rotating here. So we're really reaching back. You should even be able to feel your forearms begin to fatigue from this motion. 3, 2, 1. Just gently shake it off like you're shaking off water, nothing crazy. Let's remove anything from beneath the seat. And extend the legs out in front, wake up the lower body. Spread and scrunch the toes, roll out the ankles. My voice is so raspy today, so A little bit of hot tea should help. Alright. And changing directions if you haven't already. Cool. Bend in the knees, feet come hips distance apart. We'll just drop the knees side to side here. Make sure the legs are far enough away that your knees don't land on top of one another, but they have space to reach the floor. And the next time the knees fall over to the right, we'll bring our hands to frame the right knee and bring it up to a tabletop pose. Hands below shoulders and knees below hips. On an inhale, belly drops, hips and chest rise for cow pose. And exhaling, round in spine, chin tucks in towards chest, pressing the ground away for cat pose. Inhaling, belly drops, hips and chest rise. Exhaling, round in the spine, lifting belly button towards the spine. The inhale presses hands down and back, knees down and forward like you're going to scrunch your mat together to get a deeper arch in the spine. And exhale, presses hands down and forward, knees down and back to deepen the round in the spine. Connecting to your own breath pace at the speed of your body, be informed by the length of your breath. The next time you exhale and round in the spine for your cat pose, so you're tucking chin in towards chest, press into the tops of the feet so hard that the knees lift. So they might just lift an inch. I might lift a bit more, just getting a stretch on the feet. And then knees gently touch down and into our cow pose. Exhaling, round in the spine, tops of the feet press into the ground, lifting the knees, pressing the ground away, pressing in between the shoulder blades. We just got one more like that. And we'll gently release the feet down, toes tuck under. Let's sit back on the heels. So now it's the opposite, stretch for the feet. Okay. Toes tucked under, here we are. We're going to grab, let's see. If you have a block, I should have asked you to get this before. I don't even have a yoga block, so I'm going to teach you how I do it without any props. But if you have one, then you can just bring your yoga block or a stack of textbooks or whatever it may be over and place it next to your butt. So here we are. I still have my toes tucked under. Still haven't figured out the spacing between me and the camera. Okay. Toes are still tucked under. I'm going to reach my left hand down towards that block or my foot. And now with this left arm, I'm reaching up and back. So it's like a string's being pulled up from my sternum. Squeezing my shoulder blades together. Squeeze your glutes as well, pressing the hips forward. So think of it more as lifting than back bending. Ardha Ustrasana, half camel pose. So reaching through these top fingertips as I'm pressing down and away through this bottom hand. Don't let the shoulders sink, lift up. Just got one more breath here. And then like a forward, just come forward onto kneeling. I lost my train of thought of what that metaphor was, but really we're just coming back to the beginning here, guys. Right hand comes down to land, so you can put the block on the other side, or the hand comes down to the right foot. Okay, say that you don't reach. Your hand can come to the lower back, and a similar situation can happen, but it is going to actually be easier once you do reach the foot or the block, because you can press away from that bottom arm and reach up and back through the top left hand. Remember, the chest is lifting up towards the sky and pressing the ground away, not sinking in the shoulders and pulling them away from one another, if anything. Glutes are squeezed tight to protect the lower back. They help you stabilize the posture and press the hips forward. We just got 2 more breaths here in this half camel pose. Sweep the arm forward, back up to center. All right, let the hands come down. Knees splay apart, feet come to touch. Sit the hips back and sink the chest forward. Head can come down to land on, or forehead can come down to land on the ground for your child's pose. Just give the forehead a little rock side to side. Deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. Once more like that, really pressing the hips towards the heels, letting the lower back find some space after that back bend. And hands press into the ground. Bring it back up to tabletop. Toes tuck under and hips press up high for downward facing dog. Here, let's find our spacing. The closer your feet are to your hands, the deeper the stretch in the back of the legs. The farther your feet are from the hands, the deeper the stretch in the shoulders. We want somewhere in the middle. And here, let's just pedal out the feet. We're still waking up the backs of the legs here. Any clicks or cracks? Those are my ankles. Just noticing, it's just the way it is sometimes. We can come up high into the tiptoes and drop both heels to the right. Feel that stretch on the whole left side body. Drop the heels over to the left. Feeling that stretch on the right side body. I'm still sending the hips up and back. Just do that a couple times. And back to center. Pressing the heels down towards the ground. So, it doesn't really matter if your heels touch the ground or not. That's just the direction that they're headed. Just like the hips are reaching up and back behind you towards where the back wall meets the ceiling. Obviously, my hips are not touching where the back wall meets the ceiling. That's just the direction my body is headed. Speaking of, head is heavy. It's like my armpits are trying to touch the ground. And since today we're focusing a bit more on shoulders than on the legs, just notice you really want a straight line from the wrist to the hips. So if you're here, you can feel that your head is higher than your arms instead of sinking in between. Try lifting up your heels and bending the knees a bit. Bring your belly back towards the thighs. Still, my hips are reaching up and back. But that's going to give more stretch to the shoulders and give you a little space, because it might just be that your hamstrings are too tight for your chest and head to come down heavy. All right, just got one more deep breath here. And on the exhale, let's bring it forward towards plank pose. So you might need to adjust, like mine was a little short. Okay, here I am in plank with shoulders up over the palms, over the wrists. Straight lines of heels to crown of the head. Now I'm going to send the hips straight back and up for downward facing dog. So this might not feel like the right spacing for you. We're just going to mess with it for a minute. The exhale, we can exhale out through the mouth to come forward to our plank pose. And we're going to do a lion's breath for that. So what lion's breath looks like is literally sticking your tongue out so it like touches the bottom of your chin, like yeah, like a dragon. Alright, so we're gonna like let out a bunch of heat here. So deep breath in through the nose, downward facing dog. And then lion's breath out to plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, plank. Just one more like this. Then release knees, chin, chest, down towards the ground. Alright, good work. If you were there with me, you were a real one. Okay. So, bend in the knees. You can just drop the feet side to side. Little lower back release. Okay, back to center. Gently lower the feet down. Mouth to inner forehead comes centered. And then the hands release down by the sides. Palms face down. On the inhale, we're going to lift the chest and shoulders. Squeeze the glutes, pressing the hips into the ground. Lift chest and shoulders. So I'm pressing my hands into the ground, pressing the tops of my feet into the ground. Nice, never did that before. Yeah, lion's breath is super fun. I'm into it. I think it's nice to be like a little silly sometimes, but you can really get into it. Alright, so here we are in this variation of Shalanbasana. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. I'm breathing fully. And gently release down. Option here to interlace the fingers behind the back. So it's like you're holding your own hand. And then try to get the palms to touch one another. If you don't reach, you can hold a bandana in between or like a face towel or a belt. Or you can just continue that same variation that we played with before. Mouth to inner forehead comes centered. Squeeze the glutes, pressing hips into the ground, and inhale, chest and shoulders rise. Chest and head rises. Then the arms reach up and back, like someone's pulling your fist towards your feet. Still I'm pressing my feet into the ground here. So you might feel yourself rocking up and down. That's a good sign that you're actually belly breathing. Let's got one more here. Deep breath in and let it go. Releasing chest, shoulders, and head down. Release the hands. Toes tuck under. Hips press up high for your downward facing dog. Back to where we came, but let's just walk the hands back, 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 back. Nice, to our forward fold. Okay. Feet come nice and wide. You can allow the knees to be a little or a lot bent here. So we're gonna let the head nod yes. Shake no. Grab opposite elbows to create a frame for the head. And just ragdoll here, swing side to side or forward and back. Just a little free movement. So we really want to use the weight of the head and the shoulders to help elongate the spine here. And that might mean bending in the knees if you're only feeling it in your legs. Bring it back to center. Release the hands, heel toe the feet in towards one another till big toes touch and just a little space between the heels so the ankles don't knock together. We'll roll it up one vertebra at a time. Coming all the way up to stand. Not that tall. Why? Okay, We'll inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And on the exhale, hands come down to heart center, left knee bends in towards the belly. So just lifting that right knee in. Can I say that? So we're bringing the right leg up. Deep breath in here. On the exhale, slow motion front kick, extend the leg, then drop the heel down. Swinging it back like a pendulum, but a little slower, a little less momentum, a little more control. As the head comes down, the right leg reaches up and back behind you. Hips square off, they're the same distance to the ground from one another. And hands can be on top of the left thigh, pressing it back, not the knee, but the thigh closer to the hip for stability. Deep breath in here. And on the exhale, the left knee bends and right foot floats down to the ground, landing in a nice high lunge. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And on the exhale, hands release down to the ground. Option here to drop the right knee down to the mat. Left my chat over here and I can't see that far. Always have a breath of joy in our future. So your options here are to be in a high lunge or releasing that right knee down to the ground. I feel like I need my hips to have a little bit of a rest today. So, is that better? Yeah. So I'm going to keep my right knee on the ground, on top of the toe, left knee over left ankle, whether you're in high lunge or low lunge. I'm going to bring it up to shoulders up over the hips, Anjali asana. Inhaling, arms sweep up overhead. And then the left hand comes to the back of the head. Right arm releases down. Elbow bends and the back of the hand comes to the lower back. Then my hands might walk in towards one another. Maybe they grab a hold, but even if they don't, they're pressing into, if they do or they don't, they're pressing into the back body to help open the elbows out. So I'm pressing into my back as leverage to open my shoulders out. It's called Gomukhasana arms, so cow face arms. I'm breathing fully here, really pulling my elbows away from one another. One more deep breath here. Gently releasing back through our high lunge or our low lunge, either way. And hands release down to the ground. Right toes tuck under. Left leg sweeps up and back and touches down for downward facing dog. Deep breath in here, lifting up through the heels. And exhale, sinking the heels back down. Right leg sweeps up and back behind you. Exhaling, knee in towards nose, round in the spine, like through cat's pose for tiger pose. Lifting onto the left tiptoe. Bring the shoulders up over the wrists, and the right foot steps up between the hands. Left foot steps up to meet it. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale rolls you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Eyes follow fingertips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands on shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale rolls you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And as you exhale, hands to heart center, the left knee bends and thigh floats up towards the belly. One-legged Tadasana. Deep breath in here. On the exhale, it's like a slow motion front kick, extending the left leg, Then drop the heel down, leg stays long. As the head comes forward for Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. It's like you're making the letter T with your body. We're squaring the hips. Hi Matsi, welcome in. You're right, met us right in the middle of our flow. So crown of the head's reaching towards the front of the room. Left foot is reaching back. Bend in the right knee. Left foot touches down for a high lunge. Inhale, arms reaching up. Exhale, the hands touch down to the ground. You can shimmy that left foot back, back, back. Releasing the knee onto the mat. Or coming back up to your high lunge. Untuck the toes. Right knee's over right ankle. Arms sweep up for our Anjani Asana, low lunge. So from here, we'll work into our Gomukhasana hands. The right elbow bends and hand comes to the back of the head. Left arm releases down and the back of the hand comes to the lower back. So here I'm pressing into the ground. Here is another view of this. So with the hands pressing into the back, we pull the elbows away from one another, pulling them back. Or we're walking the hands in towards one another. If they grip and you're here with the elbow in front, then it's okay, just like let it go a little bit and pull it back. It's more important to me that your elbows are being pulled back than your fingers are touching. So wherever hand positioning you might be in, finding your deepest expression of Gomukhasana where you're still getting the benefit of the elbows pulling back, the shoulders being stretched out here. One side might feel different than the other, and that's just fine. Breathing fully here. And we'll release the arms up towards the sky, down towards the ground, left toes tuck under, right leg sweeps up and back behind you, and gently touch that foot down for downward facing dog. Deep breath in here, like lift up on my toes, and exhale, drop the heels down, the head be heavy. And the left leg reaches up and back behind you. Deep breath in. Exhale, tiger's pose, knee comes in towards nose, rounding in the spine like cat pose, lift up onto the right tiptoes, and roll the shoulders up over the wrist. Left foot steps up between the hands. It's okay if it takes a step or two or three or four. Left foot steps up, or rather right foot steps up to meet the right, big toes come to touch. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale rolls you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. All right. So, arms come out to the sides. We'll just turn to face one another. For now, already there. Little bend in the knees. So, almost like you're sitting back in a chair's pose, somewhere between chair's pose and standing. Nice deep bend in the knees. And then the right knee opens out to the side. Arms sweep up overhead. And on the exhale, the right arm sweeps under the left arm. So I'm really reaching in opposite directions, like the scarecrow in Wizard of Oz who says they went that way. Trying to get my elbows to reach really far back. Then the backs of my hands are going to touch. Right hand comes in towards my forehead and then slides in front of the left hand. So the arms may be twisted once or twice. If this is awful for your shoulders, you just bring your hands onto your shoulders themselves. Okay. So here we are. With this left knee bent, right knee open out to the side. We're going to cross the legs. This foot can come to land on a block, or it can even hook behind the calf. And then I pull to get my knees back towards center line. So it's like there's a line going through my belly button. I'm trying to get my knees to cross it and my elbows to cross it as well. So with the elbows here, we might lift and lower them, just getting a nice stretch in those shoulders. This is Garudasana, eagle pose. So it might seem counterintuitive, but the deeper you sit in the seat, the easier this pose is going to be because we're all twisted up, and the tension is actually what holds you in this pose. So one more breath here. It's okay if you've fallen out, just getting back in the way we went out, getting back in the way we did in the first place. Then, like pressing rewind, release the legs, release the arms, deep breath in, let it go. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, the left arm sweeps under the right arm. The arms cross once, maybe twice, or grabbing opposite shoulders. Bend deep in the knees. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what it looks like from the side. Then the left knee opens out to the side like a cabinet door opening. Cross high over the left, high over the right thigh. And the foot's reaching back. Maybe that foot hooks behind the calf. And I'm pressing my knees together, squeezing my elbows together, sinking my hips back. Play a little bit with lifting and lowering the elbows here. But the eyes are fixed on a point, a drishti, a focal point ahead of you. Beyond your arms, something that's not going to move, so not the screen or a pet or me. Got one more breath here in Garudasana, eagle pose. Like pressing rewind, we unhook the leg, unhook the arms, reach up overhead, and a deep sigh out. All right, let's shake it out. So all that efforting and all that balance, just gonna give it a nice shake out. So here we're lifting and dropping the heels to create this bounce, this jiggle in the body. I'm lifting and dropping my shoulders, releasing any tension. This whole time we've kind of been breathing in and out through the nose, besides lion's breath. So now you can just let it go and give some audible sighs out through the mouth as well. So really just releasing and letting go of whatever happened or didn't happen in that balancing pose in Garudasana in any part of class. I'm just letting the whole body just jiggle, just exist. We're not trying to force it to look any specific way or act any specific way or accomplish anything in particular. We're just letting it bounce. You have the energy to actually give it a jump. You can take up some space. I like taking up space. When I have the energy to try to take advantage of it. Because on most days I don't. And then when I don't, I'm like, wow, I really could have taken advantage of having the energy the other day. So what we do in class, we get to take off the mat and into the world, kind of practice the way we'd like to be in the rest of our lives here on the mat. But I also kind of don't mind being, you know, just true to yourself and just exploring different aspects of how you might react to discomfort or embarrassment or shame. You know, this is a safe experimenting zone. Nobody can see you. Like, I can't see you. It's just you on your mat or you in your space. So you kind of just get to run these solo experiments yourself. You just have this community, this online community to share with if you'd like to. You have me to reach out to for consultation. But really it's your practice And just that, like 10 seconds left of bouncing. 3, 2, 1. Woo. Right. Stillness, just take a moment. Feel that tingling in your fingers, warmth in the body. Nice. Cool. All right, let's move into our breath of joy as mentioned by our friends earlier. So this is all about letting go, but don't worry about what you're letting go of. You don't need to bring anything to mind. It's not that, well, it doesn't have to be that specific, but if you just go all out on this, you will get something for yourself. So what it looks like is 3 breaths in through the nose and a big ha out through the mouth. So it looks like inhale, arms sweep forward, inhale, arms sweep out, inhale, arms sweep forward, and a big ha, arms throw back. So not arching the back at any point here. The spine is always nice and long. We keep the knees bent. And first things first, make sure you're far enough away from the wall and any furniture in your home. Okay, we got about 10 rounds of this. So you have, if it's your first time doing it, you're just like starting to get used to it. Don't get hung up. It takes you a couple of rounds to figure out what is even happening. So in, ha, in, no exhales in between the ins, and big ha, in, ha, in, ha, 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 ha. 3 left. If you haven't joined in yet, now's your chance. Ha, ha. Last one, make it count. Ha! One hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Eyes can close. Let's take a moment here just to observe what was created. Higher heart rate, higher body temperature, but what else shows up for you when you let yourself jiggle, you let yourself take up space, you let yourself be loud? Or what shows up as resistance from fully participating? So it's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad, it's just something to notice. We'll let the eyes gently blink open. Might take a sip of water or towel off some sweat. I already feel good before we started. Hey, that's a good place to be. So I'll tell you, just so that you don't feel like I'm specifically calling you out, if you're the person who is sitting out of that and is like, I'm gonna wait till we do the like normal yoga poses again, or if you're not yelling, or if you're afraid that your roommate or lover or parents is gonna be like, what are you doing? You're not gonna have an answer. Like, I get it. And I'll just let you know that one of the biggest things that has gotten in the way of me fully participating in life in general is this like attachment to looking cool or being cool, which I know is probably pretty hard to believe because I'm like dorky as F. But yeah, like when I was younger, I was like really hung up on, I was really afraid of not seeming cool, so I wouldn't like participate in anything. Like not at school, not at gym class, even though I've always been pretty fit. Not at recess because I was afraid that I'd look not cool. And I really felt like that was the only thing I had going for me, because I didn't feel like I was very like smart or pretty or popular or anything. So it's like I just had to be cool. And I just want to let you know that that idea caused more pain in my life and had me miss out on more things in my life than a lot of other things. So that's just my little, I'm looking cool. Alright, if you're already on the ground, then you just stay there. We'll meet you. And if you haven't, then you can come down with me. And we'll meet at the back of the mat. Arms sweep up overhead on the inhale. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale, knees bend deep, 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 so deep. Then we come down to seated. Feet come to touch, and the knees split open. Give your feet a little bit of a massage. We're just going to meet here in Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Not that tall, turns out. Okay. Does this help? I think. My big light broke. It's not like some crazy studio light or anything. Like, all of my lights are just like normal house lights. But it just started doing this like poltergeist thing. So here we are in the darkness. Looks like I'm doing yoga by candlelight. I guess that's kind of romantic. Alright, hands grab onto the ankles or the shins. And inhale, we'll get nice and tall. Really pulling the shoulders back. And exhale, wave down, belly, chest, head. Option here to just reach the arms forward and just let the top body drape over the bottom. Or you can grab onto the ankles and press into the knees. So I'm pulling in with the hands, down with the elbows, just using that as leverage to really open up the hips. And pressing my knees towards the ground. Is my goal to touch the ground? No, it's just to get a nice stretch in the hips. So, yeah, don't get hung up on whether your knees touch the ground or not. I've been literally doing this pose for 17 years, and my knees don't touch. I'm really just looking for that nice stretch. And if your knees do touch the ground and you're not feeling a stretch, then just bring your feet in even closer to the groin, and that's going to give a different angle. If that doesn't work, feet further away. So there's always more, guys. There's always more. You know, in Tai Chi, M9Easy says, in Tai Chi they have a breathing exercise that is the first step of breath of joy arm movements. Hey! They just keep up repeating that one step, though, to open more breathing and wake up the person. Oh, I love that. I've been messing with a little Qigong, actually. M9Easy, one of my friends has started teaching it. And then, of course, there's I Ping Tai Chi here on Twitch. And I really love her stream. But it's a really long stream, so it's not like a full beginning, middle, end class. So I'll just like hop in and like catch a couple movements, and I really enjoy that. But I'd like to take a proper Tai Chi class. Here, so just got one more breath here in our Baddha Konasana bound angle pose. Bring it back up to seated. Drop both knees to the right. Let's come into tabletop pose once more. Don't worry, we'll be on our knees that much longer. So when I inhale, the right arm sweeps up and open. And exhale, weave the arm through, landing for our thread the needle pose. Dropping the right shoulder and right side of the head onto the ground. I keep my hips up over my knees. Using my left hand, press into the ground. Working towards getting this left shoulder over the right shoulder. And really pressing the right arm into the ground to get a nice stretch on that right shoulder blade. I don't usually do this pose in the beginning of class, so if you are someone who's practiced with us before and you're used to doing this in the beginning of class, I just want you to notice how your body feels now that it's super warmed up, how this stretch might feel different, deeper. It's not really about better or worse, but how it might feel different in your body versus when we use it as a warm-up. Option here to extend this left arm up. It's not a more advanced variation, it's just a different placement for the hand, so no worries, just with that, whichever one feels better for you. I really want you to be focusing on this right shoulder blade, and getting the nicest, deepest stretch here. Okay, so now the left hand moves back in front of the face. I'm gonna bring my knees out wide and then sink my hips back and down, letting the arm come down with me. So I'm in a, and then facing my shoulders towards the ground. So I've let this right shoulder move as much as necessary, but I'm basically in this stretch in my child's pose. I learned it on YouTube. Oh yeah, YouTube's, I mean, a great place to take classes. I'm so used to doing it, everything live. I'm such a brat about it, but so here I am just breathing into this right shoulder, right outside of the arm. One more breath here. And press the left hand into the ground, close to the face. Back up to seated. I'm going to turn around just so I can keep facing the facing the screen when I talk. Back to our tabletop pose. Left arm sweeps open to the sky. Deep breath in. Exhale, weave the arm through, reaching, then release the left side of the head and the arm onto the ground. Hips stay over the knees. Or thread the needle pose. Right hand's pressing to the ground so hard that the right shoulder is over the left shoulder. It's not perfectly so, that's just the direction of the body so you can get a nice twist in the spine. An option here to extend the right arm up. Either variation is just fine. It's really whatever's going to feel best for you. I just really want to focus on this left shoulder blade. Notice the harder or softer you press into the ground with that bottom arm is going to change where you feel the stretch. And I'm going to let this hand come back down in front of the face. Walk the knees apart, toes come to touch, and sink the hips back. Letting this left arm slide back with me. So you reach the arm forward, bring the shoulders parallel to the ground, or square to the ground, for a child's pose with the left arm reaching through. 3 deep breaths here. So let every exhale sink you softly towards the ground. And the hand comes down, right hand comes down next to the head. Bring yourself back upright. We'll drop the hips off to one side. Full body stretch. Okay, here, let's grab our blanket or towel. And take a moment here to go grab one if you don't have one yet. Mine's folded in a really weird way. Okay, so actually, we can fold together, can't we? Okay, so we're gonna more or less get to this shape. So whatever you started off with, whatever it's gonna take to get to this shape, that might just be like a beach towel folded in half, yeah? Okay, and now I'm just gonna roll it up. So we're just rolling up this blanket or this towel. I know there's gonna be like different sizes and stuff, so as we practice this pose more and more, this is like the second or third time that we're doing it here in class together, you might find a towel or a blanket that works better for you. Okay, so now here we are with this little like vegan hot dog of a what's it called, of a blanket. I'm gonna turn it so that it's facing the same, so that it's the same direction as the mat. And I'll turn around. And just about a fist distance between my butt and the blanket. And I'm going to slowly lower down so that my head is on the blanket as well as my whole spine. But the bottom shouldn't be like pinching or anything like that into the lower back. Full body stretch up. Okay, so then the arms come out like the letter T, palms face open. So I really want my shoulder blades to just drop off the left and right side of this blanket. Obviously different size blankets are going to have different ability to have that so, but just imagine your left and right shoulder blade folding out the sides. And then here, just the first option with the legs is knees bent and knocked together. This is called broken bridge pose. So my feet are at the edges of the mat, and they're just knocking together. Option 2 is to bring the feet together and drop the knees open. Adho Konasana. This is like where we were before, except supine, basically laying back. And option 3 is to extend the legs down the length of the mat. Just let the feet splay open. Either variation is just fine. And here we're just breathing. This is called supported fish pose. You can even close your eyes to even more so focus on the breath. We're breathing in and out through the nose, and just notice, just scanning the body for any points of tension, any clenching in the jaw, furrowing of the eyebrows. Just let it melt away. Holding in the shoulders, just let yourself melt. You just want to notice where your mind tends to wander in these moments of stillness. So we all have something that can feel, I don't know if I want to use the word triggering, but can feel challenging to us in terms of what is necessary to really get to know ourselves better. And there's 3 things, 3 tools that are necessary for self-awareness, for self-development. And those are solitude, stillness, and silence. And each of us is going to find each of those at different points and with different levels of ease. Some of us are totally fine and love being in solitude, but maybe being in silence is difficult. So not always having a podcast or music running. Or maybe we crave and love silence, but being still is challenging. That, for me, stillness is definitely the most difficult one. So whichever one is the most challenging is the one that will probably best serve us, although all 3 work together. from here. Let your knees come back together if they haven't already, or just bending your knees. Drop both knees over to one side. Just let yourself roll off of the blanket or towel. Just place it out of the way. And we'll come back to reclining on your back with your knees hugged in towards your chest. Let both knees gently fall over to the right. Left hip stacks over right hip. Right hand lands on top of the left knee. Right hand stacks on top of the left. Yes, and left arm opens up like the letter T for a supine twist. You can look over this left hand to complete that spinal twist. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center, and gently release the knees over to the left. Left hand lands on top of right knee, and right arm opens up like the letter T. You can look over this extended arm. And here, this pose, Supta Matsyendrasana, really, like the last pose, just breath and gravity are doing the work. A little bit hard to release that control. But you'll get so much further the more you can let go in this posture. There's nowhere to go. Nowhere to be, no one to be. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center, and just notice, is there any last movement or wiggle or pose that your body's asking for before we lay in stillness? And just allow yourself to move through that. Doesn't have to have a fancy yoga name or anything like that. It could literally just be a wiggle or a stretch. All class we tell our body what to do, and now we ask back. Often our body will answer not in words, but in feelings, so just intuitively move to find what it would like. Don't worry about how it looks. Just focus on how it feels as we build this line of communication between body and mind. Learn to trust one another a little bit. And by one another, I mean all the parts of yourself. So here we are setting up for Shavasana. Legs can extend down the length of the mat. Feet come at least a foot apart. Legs so relaxed that the feet splay open out to the sides. Shoulder blades tuck under to support the chest. And arms release down by the sides. Palms face open, a symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the full benefits of your effort here today. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, a soft gaze towards the sky is just fine. If you know laying like this on your back doesn't feel so hot for you, you can bend in the knees, feet come to the outside edges of the mat, and allow the knees to knock together. Lift and tuck the hips before placing them back down for your broken bridge pose. So here in broken bridge or here in Shavasana, either way is just fine, or seated in your chair as always is welcome. Seated so that I can play some singing bowls for you in this final meditation. So Shavasana is all about integration. It's an important part of class, arguably the most important part of class, because it pulls it all together. It allows all that you've practiced to really become muscle memory, long-term memory. Let's see. And we'll start with 3 cleansing breaths in through the nose and an audible sigh out the mouth. And allow the breath to continue in and out through the nose. Inviting your exhalations to become longer and deeper than your inhalations. Invite space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy and the tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth, the symbol of chitta vritti, monkey mind. Just letting that monkey sit this one out. Nose and nostrils relax. Gently allowing air to pass through like waves lapping up to shore. And eyes rest heavy in their sockets. Eyelids just barely touching. The space between the eyebrows broadens as all the muscles in the forehead relax. And the muscles surrounding the ears, the back of the head, all rest. Neck and throat release. Shoulders melt away. Upper arms and elbows relax. Forearms and wrists rest. Palms, backs of the hands, knuckles, all of the fingers, whole hands alive with vibration, whole hands alive with creative potential. Rest and integrate all that you practice. Upper back, middle and lower back rest heavy, supported by the ground below.
chest, housing heart and lungs, sending lifeblood through the rest of your body. Belly gently rising and falling with the breath. Pelvis, glutes, and hips rest heavy. Thighs and knees melt away. Shins, calves, and ankles rest. Heels, arches, toe ball mounds, tops of the feet, and all of the toes. Relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Notice if in your mind, if even for a moment, that inner dialogue quieted. Notice if in your breath there's ease. Notice if in your body the places of tension have found space. The places of restlessness have found peace. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. And know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Invite your inhalations to deepen as fingers begin to wiggle and toes begin to curl. And that feeling of heaviness replace the feeling of openness and expansion as your head gently rocks side to side. And arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. Allow your knees to bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural, landing in a fetal position. You can use that bottom arm as a pillow. Fully released and fully supported by the ground below. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for your practice here today. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed or gently lowered, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Today we worked on a series of postures to help open up the upper back, shoulders, and neck. The first namaste I said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste I said out loud to the community that held this space. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who joined me today. I hope you found something that serves you. Yes, good vibes for the rest of the day. Good, I'm glad I'm 9 easy. Glad that was a positive experience for you. To everyone who was down on the ground, lion's breath and doing all those postures with me, thanks for joining me. To everyone who's just here for the meditations or who's lurking just for the sound bath, I appreciate you. Your presence makes a difference. Hey, cool sword. Namaste, Sam. Namaste, my friend. So awesome to have you here. Times 3. Yeah, how's everyone's shoulders feeling? We did like a bunch of shoulder work too, so you might feel it more tomorrow. Hopefully feeling a bit more open. Upper body region. Much better. Awesome. Yeah. Love it. Namaste, LR4444. Thank you. Shoulders, neck feel better. That's great. That's great. That's what I love to hear. Awesome. So great. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their weekend. I'll talk to you guys later in the week. I'm here tomorrow, same time, same place on the internet, at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, on Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. So go sleuth. I don't know if you're still there, if you made it long enough to get to the end, but I hope that sounded better for you. What's it called? For the actual ending meditation. My brain is fried. Okay. It might be time for caffeinated tea. Alright, I hope you guys are all well. I love you so much. Happy June, and I'll see you tomorrow or next Sunday. I'm going to raid into I Ping Tai Chi since we kind of spoke about her earlier. I just think she's really, really good vibes, just awesome energy. She has a studio out in Connecticut. So, yeah, let's go say hi to her and keep it going. Ethereal! Thanks, you too, love. Thank you. I'm 9 easy. Hey, cool sword. Same to you. Same to you.